All right, so you've seen the headlines. You've watched the clips. You've probably thought the Diddy situation was already peak chaos. But here's the truth no one's ready for yet. This story isn't winding down, it's expanding. And now, the Kardashians are no longer watching from the sidelines. They're standing right in the blast radius. What's unfolding feels less like celebrity gossip and more like a high-stakes Hollywood thriller playing out in real time. And the most unexpected twist: the man pushing the dominoes isn't a prosecutor or a journalist. It's 50 Cent. The same 50 Cent who has made a career out of surviving and exposing powerful enemies. The same one who didn't just mock Diddy, but systematically dismantled his public armor. And now, according to multiple sources, he's aiming straight at Kris Jenner. Yes, that Kris Jenner. And this time, it's not jokes. It's a documentary series, one that's allegedly already in production. One that reportedly doesn't just speculate, but documents. Receipts, paper trails, financial relationships. And Kris, according to whispers coming out of the industry, sits right at the center of it. At first glance, it sounds absurd. What could Kris Jenner possibly have to do with Diddy's downfall? That's the question everyone's scrambling to answer. But the rumors that keep surfacing aren't random, and they aren't flattering. They point to possible financial crimes, long-standing connections to Diddy's inner circle, and massive sums of money moving in ways that don't quite add up. The same allegation keeps resurfacing again and again. The California Community Church. Founded in 2009 by Kris Jenner, it presents itself as a religious institution. On paper, it looks clean. But critics and financial analysts have been raising eyebrows for years. The claim that it functions less like a church and more like a private financial shelter. Allegedly, members are required to contribute roughly $1,000 per month, plus 10% of their income, all tax-free. And the most explosive part of the allegation: that the Kardashian-Jenner family themselves are the primary donors, essentially moving money into a tax-exempt entity they control. One accountant reportedly described it as robbery with a smile. Brutal. But if true, also incredibly efficient. And just when you think the story can't get more tangled, Britney Spears enters the picture. Remember her conservatorship, the years of legal control, public breakdowns, and unanswered financial questions. In 2018, Britney's sister Jamie Lynn was appointed trustee of her largest financial trust. Around that same period, approximately $600 million allegedly vanished from Britney's accounts. The money didn't disappear. It reportedly reappeared in a Panamanian holding company. That number should already sound familiar. Behind the scenes was Lou Taylor, Britney's former business manager and one of the architects of the conservatorship itself. Taylor's name has long been associated with aggressive financial control, and now her connections raise serious questions. She has documented professional ties to both Diddy and Kris Jenner. She allegedly managed Diddy's finances at one point. Her husband oversaw another church accused of financial improprieties. The overlap is impossible to ignore. Then there's Corey Gamble, Kris Jenner's longtime partner. For years, he's been treated publicly as background noise, a quiet presence. But insiders are now re-examining his role. In 2020, Gamble posted a message thanking Kim Porter and Diddy for everything they did for his life. At the time, it looked like a heartfelt tribute. Now, it reads like a breadcrumb. Sources claim Corey wasn't just attending Diddy's events. He was embedded in those circles. Someone trusted. Someone who belonged. And if investigators begin mapping relationships between Diddy's alleged operations and Kardashian-linked finances, Gamble's name may start appearing more frequently than anyone expected. Then came the unfollows. Right before federal raids on Diddy's properties, both Kim and Kris quietly unfollowed him on Instagram. No announcement, no explanation, just digital distance. Coincidence? Maybe. But insiders say Kris immediately went into damage control mode, attempting to create separation before the fallout hit. The problem is simple: digital trails don't erase themselves. And here, where things cross from suspicious to chilling. Around the same time Britney's money allegedly vanished, Kim Kardashian experienced a $600 million windfall. The timing aligns with the sale of half of Kylie Cosmetics. Same number. Same time frame. Two completely different narratives converging on the same figure. Is it coincidence? Or is it coincidence stacked on coincidence stacked on coincidence? Because if it's not coincidence, then we're not talking about bad optics. We're talking about money laundering. And that's where 50 Cent re-enters the picture. What many thought was trolling is reportedly very real. The documentary is being produced through G-Unit Films. And according to leaks, 50 Cent isn't working alone. He's allegedly receiving information from Kanye West, documents, messages, financial records. Years of animosity, now weaponized as evidence. If even a portion of that material is legitimate, Kris Jenner's legal team is about to earn every dollar they've ever billed. The Kardashians have survived scandals before. They've mastered narrative control. But RICO cases don't care about image. They care about patterns, associations, money flows. And the pattern is hard to ignore. Diddy, Lou Taylor, Britney Spears, offshore holdings, churches, trusts, Delaware shell companies, reality TV contracts with suspicious clauses, deleted social media posts, off-book payments. It's not one red flag, it's a parade. Investigators don't need direct involvement to build a RICO case. They need to show a sustained network operating toward shared benefit. And Kris Jenner's entire career has been built on control, of branding, finances, access. But control cuts both ways. Behind the scenes, the family reportedly isn't unified. Kim is allegedly furious about the MAC Cosmetics deal Kris negotiated. Kylie has gone unusually silent. KHLA has stopped addressing Diddy entirely. This isn't just public relations, it's internal fracture. And the children are watching. At some point, the next generation will see these headlines. Their classmates will see them. The consequences extend far beyond money. If pressure mounts, will Kris protect the empire or herself? Will Corey gamble become expendable? Will someone cut a deal? Or will everyone gamble on outlasting the storm? Because the next development won't be an Instagram statement. It'll be a subpoena, a filing, or a revelation so large it makes everything before it look like a warm-up act. And here's the final question no one wants to ask out loud. What if Kris Jenner isn't the mastermind? What if she's the face? What if there are bigger players, politicians, executives, legal power brokers operating above her? The Kardashians are famous, but fame alone doesn't move hundreds of millions through international channels. That takes infrastructure, protection, silence. The media may chase clicks, but exposure threatens access. And access is currency. That's why this documentary matters. Whether you love or hate 50 Cent, he's not afraid of burning bridges, and he has the resources to dig deep. Will law enforcement act, or will power insulate itself again? Britney Spears deserves answers. The public deserves transparency. And if this web truly stretches beyond one family, then focusing solely on Kris Jenner may be exactly what the real architects want. So the question isn't just whether Kris is guilty. It's how many people are hopping, she takes the fall. And whether, this time, the truth actually makes it all the way out. So now we arrive at the part of the story where everything slows down. Not because the danger has passed, but because this is the moment right before impact. This is where empires either survive or collapse. Because what's hanging in the air right now isn't just gossip or speculation or another celebrity scandal that burns hot for a week and then disappears. What's hanging in the air is accountability. And for a family that has built its entire legacy on controlling perception, controlling access, and controlling narratives, that may be the most terrifying threat of all. For years, the Kardashian-Jenner machine has operated with surgical precision. Every scandal was managed, every crisis reframed, every controversy diluted until it became content instead of consequence. They didn't just survive the media, they mastered it. They turned chaos into currency, attention into leverage, silence into strategy. But the problem with systems like that is simple. They only work as long as everyone plays their role. And right now, too many people are breaking character. If even a fraction of what's being alleged turns out to be true, if the financial overlaps, The offshore structures, the religious entities, the trusts, the holding companies, and the personal connections all begin lining up. Then this stops being about image management altogether. It becomes about patterns. And patterns are what prosecutors care about most, especially under RICO. RICO doesn't ask whether someone committed a single crime. It asks whether they benefited from a system that did, whether they enabled it, protected it, helped it function, whether they knew or chose not to know what was happening as long as the money kept moving. And if investigators decide that this wasn't just proximity, but participation, then the consequences won't be solved with a PR statement or a rebrand. They'll be solved in court. That's why this moment matters so much. Because this is the last phase before choices are forced. At some point, lawyers stop advising silence and start advising cooperation. At some point, loyalty becomes liability. At some point, someone decides they would rather testify than take the fall. And if that moment comes, the question is whether the truth will come out. It's how much of it will. Will someone step forward quietly, behind closed doors, and make a deal? Will financial records surface that tell a very different story than the one fans have been shown for years? Will associations once dismissed as coincidence suddenly become exhibits? And perhaps most unsettling of all, will the public finally see how celebrity, power, and financial systems intertwine in ways that were never meant to be visible? Because here's the part that should bother everyone, not just fans or critics. If money can be moved, hidden, reclassified, and recycled this easily at the highest levels of fame, if churches can function as shelters, if trusts can obscure ownership, if influence can delay scrutiny, then this isn't just a Kardashian story. It's a systemic one. That's why the idea of a documentary spearheaded by 50 Cent carries so much weight. Not because he's a moral authority, but because he's unpredictable. He's not dependent on Hollywood goodwill. He's not chasing access. And he has a long history of turning private knowledge into very public consequences. And if he's truly being fed information by people with personal vendettas, inside knowledge, or long-standing grievances, then what's coming may not be a clean exposé. It may be messy, fragmented, dangerous, which makes it harder to contain. The Kardashian-Jenners have always thrived in chaos they could choreograph. But chaos they don't control, that's different. That's when systems crack. And look at the signs already appearing. Sudden silences, deleted posts, strategic unfollows, carefully timed business deals, family members retreating from the spotlight, no unified front, no clear messaging, just distance. Distance is not confidence. Distance is fear. And fear suggests that behind the scenes, people are already bracing for impact. So what happens next? Maybe nothing. Maybe the system protects itself once again. Maybe the story gets diluted, buried under the next cycle of outrage. Maybe no indictments come. Maybe no charges are filed. Maybe the powerful walk away untouched, as they so often do. But maybe, just maybe, this time is different. Maybe the paper trails are too extensive, the overlaps too obvious, the timing too precise, the numbers too identical to ignore. Maybe someone decides the risk of silence is greater than the risk of speaking. And if that happens, everything changes. Because once the first thread is pulled, the rest unravel quickly. So here's the real question, one that goes beyond fandom, beyond hate, beyond celebrity obsession. Do we actually want to know the truth? Or do we only want the version that's easy to consume? Because demanding accountability means accepting discomfort. It means questioning systems we've been entertained by for years. It means recognizing that fame doesn't just reflect culture, it often shields power. And that's why this story isn't over. It's only paused. So pay attention to what happens next. Watch who speaks and who doesn't. Watch which narratives shift. Watch which alliances quietly dissolve. Watch the filings, not the headlines. The court records, not the Instagram stories. Because the next move won't be loud. It will be legal. And when it comes, it won't ask for permission. If you want to stay ahead of this story, if you want to understand what's really happening beneath the surface, then don't look away now. This is the moment where things stop being entertainment and start becoming history. And history doesn't care how famous you are.